Hi friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, Homeschool at Heart. I am Leah, and today we're going to be talking about summer reading. Today we went to our library's summer reading program kickoff. We live in a city, but it has kind of a small town feel to it. And so we have kind of a downtown area that's a little more on the old town historic kind of side. And that's where our library is. I'll show some footage of what our library looks like. And we love going to this library. They do such a good job providing programs for the kids to go to all year long. But their summer reading program is really great. They give prizes for certain page number marks that you hit. They do shows outside on their lawn each week. And today was that very first day. So they did a really fun, I'm not sure who it was. I'll have to look it up. But they did an animal program. So they brought out, I think, 6 or 7 different wild animals. Just small ones that they had like in totes. But it was really fun for the kids to see. And the man who was the handler of these animals walked them all around. So that all of the kids could kind of get an up-close look without touching the animals. So there were snakes and lizards and birds and a skunk, which my kids were super crazy about. Charlotte, are you worried about the skunk? And a cute little hedgehog. So that was a really fun educational time for them. And then we went and did our library book hunt so that we could bring home some books. I usually let my kids bring home about 10 books at a time. Otherwise, I feel like I can't keep track of them all. And then we invariably lose one and have to tear the house apart looking for it. So raise your hand if you have ever had that happen to you. I know I can't be the only one. Anyway, so they give out these cute little pamphlets and a little tote bag. So this year's theme is Read Beyond the Beaten Path, and it's kind of like a campfire theme. And then they do, you write in the title and the author, and then they want to know how many pages you read, and then you rate your book. For bigger kids than mine, they have them also, I think, like write a little summary of the book, but we don't have to do that quite yet. Probably Beth will next year though. So just a note about summer reading. I don't make my kids read at their grade level for fun. If they want to read lower level books, that's totally fine with me. It actually is really hard for me to find books that are the right grade level that they're reading, like to improve their reading skills without getting into things that are a little more mature than what I think they can handle. So often you'll see my kids reading books that are really way too easy for them, and that's okay. I want them to have fun reading and continue to enjoy it, so I'll let them do that as long as they want to. But for school, we definitely get them books that are increasingly more difficult for them so that they can increase their vocabulary and literacy and fluency and all of the things. So anyway, so I thought it might be fun today too to show just some of our favorites that we've read throughout the years, and things that we have vetted and feel are safe. Just because we were in the library today and I was like, I don't know, Ellie had like a whole list that we had looked at YouTube, other YouTube accounts, and I'm not sure about them. So I told her she could check them out, but that I would have to go and look them up to kind of figure out if everything she chose was suitable for her. So anyway, so I'm going to start with lower grades, and I also have some middle grades because I have a first grader Well, she just finished first grade, and then I have kids who just finished third and just finished fourth. The big kids also, both of them are reading at a high school reading level, high school grade level. So some of those are a little bit more difficult probably than fifth grade, but I'm going to show them anyway because I'm sure that you guys have a lot of the same experience that I do. Okay, first up, this is the series that Charlotte is currently reading. This is the Billy B. Brown series. It's from Usborne Books and More. It's a little tiny chapter book that my first grader that is having a hard time, well, she has this entire year struggled with reading. She is now reading these books and doing a great job, but there are words that I do have to help her with. But she's doing a really good job of learning those words so that when they come up again, she usually can read them by herself the next time. So right after that, we will graduate into this one. It's the same type of book, but it's a longer chapter, a little bit longer chapter book. So these little Billy B. Brown books are about 44 pages. They have pictures every other page or so. These Billy B. mystery books are about twice that long in length. That's also Usborne. Also from Usborne Books. I used to sell Usborne Books. I still casually kind of do, so I'll put my link down below, but I mostly just do it so that I can afford to buy more. This is the Pony Craze Princess, and this is just kind of like how my big kids read through these. So it's just kind of as the progression, we have a little bit of progression here as far as like the difficulty level. So Charlotte will be reading these by the end of the summer. Actually bought these books because of ponies, but also because the princess is named Ellie, and I have a daughter named Ellie, so that was fun. And then we have the Fairy Unicorns and the Secret Mermaids. These are about the same reading level. They do have more words per page. The words are smaller. There are pictures in here periodically in both of these. So also Usborne. So now not Usborne, and I actually will probably have her read this after her Billy B. mystery books, or let her choose, you know, whenever she feels like she's ready for it. But this is the Sophie Mouse series. I have not actually read all of these. I read this one though. It's super cute. It's about a little mouse who learns how to be friends, basically. Like, it's really cute. There's all kinds of different little critters, and it has fairly large print, some pictures, super cute little book that came very highly recommended by many people who I trust. So we haven't read the whole series. I've just picked up this one so that I could show it for this video. Next up, this is an only bit of goodie, you guys. Ramona the Pest. My oldest clearly has loved this book and all of the series. We have the whole series for many years. She started reading this probably when she was in first grade. She was quick to pick up reading and quick to do all of those things. So she did not have any trouble with this. Probably Charlotte won't read this until sometime in second grade, but it's a really fun read. Along with that is Henry Huggins. You can pick these up at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Also, Sophie Mouse was from Amazon. So we have Ramona. We have Henry Huggins. Not Henry Higgins like Eliza Doolittle's Henry Higgins. Henry Huggins, who is the friend of Ramona and his dog. So there's also a book called Ribsy. This is a whole series too. And it goes kind of along the lines of Ramona. Another one by Beverly Cleary is The Mouse and the Motorcycle. I remember my mother reading this to me when I was a kid and loving Ralph. Also, there's a movie, so that might be fun. Anything by Roald Dahl. We love Roald Dahl. All of the Roald Dahl. This was a little bit harder than Maybe the Mouse and the Motorcycle. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is always a fun read. And then I've got Stuart Little, another classic here, probably in the same-ish reading level as the Roald Dahl books. We love Stuart Little. So I think Ellie read Stuart Little last year in 2nd grade, but it also would work really well for like a 3rd grade read. This is another Usborne book. There's 3 of these: Tanglewood Animal Park, The Troublesome Tiger. There's one about a zebra and another one about an elephant. These, I read them all. They are such fun books about a little girl named Zoe who lives at a wild animal reserve or zoo or something like that, animal park. So every day is an animal adventure, and it's really a fun book series. Beth, I think, has read this like 3 or 4 times. Okay, so moving right along, we have the entire Borrowers collection. This is another one that was around when I was a kid. I remember my mom reading this to us and just being over the moon about the Borrowers. I probably read them all through so many times as a kid. I don't know where the first Borrowers book is, but we have the box set. So these are about tiny people and their adventures in somebody's house, and they borrow things to make their home in like the walls and under the floorboards and all of that stuff. So super fun little tiny people adventures. Okay, so now we're moving up to what I would consider more middle grade, so 3rd, 4th, 5th. Probably Tanglewood and the Borrowers would count as those grades as well. I am almost finished reading this. This is the first book of the Wingfeather saga. Somebody told me today that they felt like it was too scary for their kids, so I would definitely, as a parent, check it out first. But the reason is that there are kind of like lizard people, and like some scary, like, not scary, I don't know. Well, I mean, like, the people in the book, they're scared of the lizard people, and like there's like a black carriage that if they get really mad at you, they'll send for this carriage, and the carriage takes you away and you never heard from again. That is the scary part of it. So it's kind of its own world. So there's, I don't want to say like magical creatures, but there's like dragons and lizard people, and there's not actual magic per se, but there are things that we wouldn't find in our world, if that makes sense. So if you're worried about magic, this is not really a book about magic. It is more of a fantasy type story. This is another, that you can find on Amazon. This is an Usborne book, the Mapmaker Chronicles. So if you're looking for a fun middle grade adventure that is super clean and totally fine for kids, this is the Mapmaker Chronicles. I will read the back of the book because it's been a while since I read it. The king has promised a prize to the ship's captain who can bring him a map of the whole globe. To do that, they'll need map makers. And farm boy Quinn is shocked to be one of the chosen. Quinn is content with his quiet life, but when the king's advisor discovers the special talent he has tried to keep secret, he has no choice but to join the ragtag crew of slaves and stowaways on the Libertas. On board, Quinn faces the greatest challenges he's ever known, from the strange sea monster hot on their trail to other competitors who will do anything to win. But the greatest danger may be lying in wait just off the edge of the map. The first book in a thrilling trilogy. And it is. It's really great. Okay, I did just finish reading this, The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This has a lot of magic in it, so if you don't like magic, do not read this book. This is about a little girl who is left in the woods against her mother's will. The town that she lives in is called the Protectorate. They this happens in like the first couple chapters, so not a spoiler, but they have told the people, the leadership of the town have told the people that there's a witch in the woods and that she is requiring them to sacrifice a child to them every year. And this little girl's mom was very upset and fought them. So they locked her in a tower like a lunatic. So the witch does come. She is not the witch that they are saying she is. But she comes and she collects this child and she raises her as her own. The little girl drinks the moon as a baby and becomes magical. So there's a lot of things that happen in here that I don't want to tell you about because I don't want to ruin the book for you. But trust me, if you like fantasy and magic, this is a great book. Not a magical book. Elsie Dinsmore. This was one of my favorites as a girl. Beth loves this series. There's a million of these books. Elsie Dinsmore is a little girl who loves Jesus, and she was... Okay, let me just read it. Elsie Dinsmore is an endearing 8-year-old with several bewildering problems. She has never known her mother, who died when Elsie was a baby, and she longs for a close, loving relationship with her father. He, however, has sent her off to be raised at Roselands, his brother's southern plantation, where her teacher, Miss Day, harshly criticizes her, and her cousins tease her relentlessly. As Elsie learns to handle her problems, she begins to learn more about herself, and as her faith in her Heavenly Father grows, she learns what it means to be a child of God. The result is a story that inspires and challenges, and readers will take delight in how Elsie comes to depend completely upon faith in God for the peace and happiness she seeks. Okay, so this is a Christian book. It is not a hokey Christian book, if that makes any sense. I know there's a lot of Christian books out there that you're just like, you just roll your eyes at. This is not one of them. This is like a total classic to me. Along that same line is Millie, the Millie books. These are kind of a spin-off of the Elsie Dinsmore books. This is a character that you will find in one or more of the Elsie books. So, highly recommend. Same kind of storyline. Next up is the Green Ember. The Green Ember. Heather and Pickett are extraordinary rabbits with ordinary lives until calamitous events overtake them, spilling them into a cauldron of misadventures. They discover that their own story is bound up in the tumult, threatening to overwhelm the wider world. Kings fall and kingdoms totter, tyrants ascend and terrors threaten. Betrayal beckons and loyalty is a broken road with peril around every bend. Where will Heather and Pickett land? How will they make their stand? Anyway, I actually met the author of this book, S.D. Smith. His name's Sam. He also wrote a really great writing curriculum that you can find on sdsmith.com. And this is such a fun book. I mean, he always jokes like that it's rabbits with swords, but it really is like kind of this fantasy world where these rabbits are like people, and it's just beautifully written and beautifully told. Not a Christian book, but written by a Christian author. Same with the Winged Feather Saga, not a Christian book, written by a Christian author. Highly recommend. We went through all of these. I started reading them aloud to my kids, but my voice like gets so tired so quick that we ended up doing an audiobook. Also love the narrator for the audiobook. You can find them on Audible. Actually, if you sign up for SD Smith's newsletter, I believe that you get the first Green Ember book, this one, on audio for free, like as a free download. So highly recommend those. And then, of course, Harry Potter. You guys, I love Harry Potter. I'm not like the biggest Harry Potter fan, but we definitely did do our whole school year around Harry Potter this year. We have this illustrated version. We have all of the illustrated ones that they've come out with. I think it's just the first 4. And then we have the first 2 also in like, there's like an interactive one. You can get it at Target or on Amazon. That has like pull out things like pop-up pages and like really interactive little things. So if you have a reluctant reader in this age group, that is a really fun way to engage your reader, either with these really beautiful illustrations. Let me see if I can find a full, these are just gorgeous. Let me see if I can find a better picture than Draco Malfoy. Nobody wants to look at him. Okay, so like here's Harry looking at the snake at the zoo. So beautiful. So love Harry Potter, the whole series, although it does progressively get darker after the 4th book. So just be aware of that. If your kid gets scared, they'd probably be okay with books 1 through 3. Book 4 is when the bad guy comes back in full force and he's scary. So, and then last is also by J.K. Rowling. It's the Ichabod. So it actually, the Ichabod really reminds me of The Girl Who Drank the Moon in the way that the story is told, and it's like the same type of story. And when I read this last year, it is kind of murdery. So there's a lot of people dying in it. So this would be one that I would consider to be a little bit higher than a 5th grade reading level, depending on the maturity level of your readers. So I just want to give that disclaimer on it. But it is a really silly, really funny book. And I really did enjoy it. But if like death and carnage kind of bother your kids, it's like in a light way. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's a silly book about something that is fabled. So anyway, I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give away the ending to the story. But mom and dads, read this book, and then if you decide to give it to your kids, then do that. But as an adult, I really enjoyed it. So anyway, that is all that I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed my book talk. I'm hoping to do a few more of these, like just kind of like reviewing books. So if you want to hear me reviewing more books as I read them, let me know in the comments below. As always, I would love it if you would hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't subscribed. It really does help me and my channel, and help me continue to be able to create this content. I am so grateful for all of you and all of your faithful watching, and I will see you in our next video.